binti Muhammad Fauzi.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Aina Batrisha binti Abdul Hamid.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Ashri bin Jafar Siddiq.
Hello, hi, my name is Muhammad Uzair Mushri bin Mushari.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Afifatul Najiha binti Muhammad Azman. Today, we would like to explain about Chapter 6, which is Performance Management and Appraisal. Performance Management and Appraisal have two, which is Performance Management System and Performance Review. For the Performance Management System is the management that include creating, assessing goals, objectives, and milestones, because they intend to establish and build mechanisms for measuring successful individual performance. Managers also can utilize performance management system to change workflow, offer new courses of actions, and make other decisions that will assist staff in meeting their goals. As a result, the organization is able to meet its objectives and execute optimally. For instance, the manager of a sales department might assign revenue target to employees that must be met within certain time frame. Along with the figures, the manager will provide suggestions to assist the salesman succeed in a performance management system. Besides, when everyone has clearer understanding of the expectation and expectations are clear, the workplace is less stressful. Employees also are not trying to impress a manager by doing some random tasks, and managers are not worried about how to tell employees that they are not performing well. If the system is working, they probably know it already. Okay, for the performance review. Performance review is a manager and other important stakeholders evaluate an employee's job performance using a formal and control assessment method. The purpose of performance review is to learn more about weaknesses and strengths and offer constructive feedback for skill development in the future and assist with the goal settings. So there are 4 types of performance review. First, weekly or fortnightly performance evaluation. Second, monthly performance appraisal. Third, quarterly performance evaluations. And fourth, annual performance review. Okay, firstly, weekly or fortnightly performance evaluation. It do not have to be extremely goal-oriented or gather a lot of data every time. They are useful for preserving record and ensuring that a project, particularly one that is agile or move quickly, stay on course each week. Okay. Secondly, monthly performance appraisal. This monthly performance appraisal is especially useful for businesses who employ people on short-term contract or freelancers, and for new hire during their onboarding processes. As they go from job description to actual performance, new projects also benefit from monthly employee review so that they stay on track and organization goals are met. Some employees typically prefer monthly check-in over annual review. Okay, third, quarterly performance evaluations. This quarterly performance evaluation make businesses have defined objective, plan, and budget for each of the 4 quarters that make up their company year. It seems reasonable to undertake performance evaluation concurrently with this. An employee may accomplish their objective and aims and improve their organizational abilities in just 3 months. A report an employee's development that is prepared for a review meeting may able to created by adding together all of the weekly, fortnightly, or monthly review together every quarter. But annual performance review. Some of the companies still do yearly evaluation, pulse survey, and 360-degree review are gradually taking the role of annual review, or at least complementing them. This conventional, formal performance evaluation had a tendency to go out of control, containing far more information than was necessary for them to be handled to fairly assess an employee work. Instead of looking ahead to future performance, they focus on previous performance, and a year is simply too long for workers to wait for feedback. Nevertheless, if all of the feedback has an action associated with it, reviews and comments from the whole year combined into a single 12-month overall performance report are valuable information resource. Alright, next, steps in the performance review. There are three main categories may be used to group the phases in the performance management process. For example, planning, coaching, and reviewing is the foundations of a company performance management process. This is formed by this step. Each of this is equally crucial. Alright, for the planning is the defining stage. It means that when the performance management process starts, the job itself, including through descriptions, both short and long-term goals and important objectives, and define criteria for how those goals and objectives will be evaluated. This must be defined by human resource, which is HR and management. Clear performance criteria should be established, along with goals that follow the SMART, which is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based framework. Next, the feedback stage is also the planning for performance review. After management has finished the defining phase, staff members ought to be able to provide the feedback on this content. Since they are ones carrying out their duties, they will have a unique perspective on the abilities, competencies, and objectives that will best help the business meet their objective. Coaching is another step for the performance process. It means company need to organize meeting in a timely and consistent manner. This is because this is the next stage of the performance management process starts once the job criteria and future goals have been established. The coaching process is crucial and need to be carried out often. Monthly meetings are the best, but quarterly meetings should be held at the very least, because this is not the place to discuss punishment for subpar work, but this is where coaching opportunities and solutions should take center stage. If employees perceive responsibility as a bad thing, they will avoid it, and instead of being open about their areas of difficulty. An organization may find great benefit from this kind of the management training in specific circumstances. Last but not least, the step in the performance review is reviewing. In other words, an employee review, commonly known as a performance evaluation. A performance evaluation should take place at the conclusions of the annual performance management cycle. These are usually conducted once a year to assess the employee's performance during that period. To demonstrate the employee development over the course of the year, is a clear record from prior check-in should be available. The purpose of the monthly check-in is to assist the employee with a goal setting, problem solving, and other forward-looking duties. In the conclusions, the performance management cycle is a staff members and management have one final opportunity to provide input and the procedure as a whole, and to share their ideas and suggestions for the planning phase of the next year is cycle and running. So thank you. Alright. For the purpose of a performance review for developmental is identifying strengths and weaknesses, because it is a review that assists goal setting that make company possible for workers to set specific, attainable goals that support corporate aims. This objective act as a growth plan for the staff members. For the growth planning, managers and staff members can plan for career growth through performance evaluation. This includes training, skill improvement, and taking on more tasks that will assist the person advance within the organization. In a nutshell, organizations may promote a culture of ongoing learning, development, and improvement by emphasizing developmental elements in performance assessment. These advantages for both individual workers and the business as a whole. Alright, we move to the next slide, which is the purpose of performance review for administrative. The purpose of performance review for administrative is staff performance assessment accomplish a number of significant goals, including evaluations of work performance, acknowledgement and recognitions, and documentations for decision making. For the evaluations of work performance is an employee performance recorded in writing through performance evaluations. When making choices on transfer, wages increases, promotions, or even disciplinary measures, this paperwork may be quite important. Other than that, performance evaluation assess the work performance of administrative staff members over a given time frame. It evaluates their efficiency, output, level of detail-oriented, and also the capacity for meeting deadline. Okay, that's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter, Nur Halimatin Sadia, for her explanation. Thank you.
So, I can start for the first topic is about developing an effective performance management system. Okay, what is the mean by developing an effective performance system is a responsibility undertaken by the Human Resources Department, in the simple word is HR department, to oversee and coordinate all the performance management system. Okay, so we can move for the next page is about what is performance standard. Okay, for the first point is the meaning of performance standard is the requirement obtained from job analysis and certification for an individual workers. Okay, the next point is advertising smart. SMART, amount employee can help them to achieve all aspects in the specific form. Next is about fairness and acceptance. Okay, in terms of fairness and acceptance, employee needs to have a good management system so that all employees tend to follow work rules as best as possible in their organization. Alright, after that, for employee acceptance, a deeper examination of background and employee performance is needed, which can assist the company organization. And then about, does your performance review comply with the law? In summary, a legal aspect of performance for each employee must be informed and reminded generally to each employee in order to achieve quality work and improve performance for each employee in organization. So, we move for next, alternative source review. Okay, what is alternative review source? Involve 8 connection, 8 the important point. such as has example is superior, peer, team members and other. So we can look at the point lah, at the in detail we can see in slide. And the last but not least, we move for performance review information source. Okay, the information source for performance review are several process in key point that need to emphasize in all aspects, which also include the ability management assessment, self-assessment to count the level of competence and abilities of employee, and other avatar as well. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Let's proceed to 360-degree evaluation. 360-degree evaluation is a feedback process that involves gathering input from various perspectives, including self-assessment, peers, subordinates, and supervisors to provide a comprehensive and well-rounded view of an individual's performance. 360-degree review provide a holistic view of an individual's performance by collecting, encourages self-reflection as individuals compare their self-perception with the feedback from others. It also helps in uncovering blind spots or areas of improvement that an individual may not be aware, facilitates personal and professional growth by offering constructive feedback and reducing the influence of bias. On the negative side, feedback can be leading to inaccurate assessment. Individuals may hesitate to provide honest feedback, especially if they fear potential negative consequences or retaliation. The process can be time-consuming and resource-intensive, requiring efforts to collect and analyze feedback from multiple sources. Besides, the feedback may bring to light interpersonal conflicts that could exacerbate tensions within a team. In some cases, there might be a lack of accountability as participants may not take the process seriously, leading to less meaningful feedback. Let's move on to training appraisers. Training appraisers means teaching and guiding the people responsible for evaluating employees' performance. This training helps them understand how to assess job performance fairly, avoid biases, communicate effectively, and follow ethical guidelines. It also involves teaching them how to set clear goals, give feedback, and handle challenging conversations. The goal is to make sure appraisers can evaluate employees accurately and help them improve, creating a positive and supportive work environment. There are few ratings errors such as central tendency, leniency or strictness error, recency error, contrast error, and similar to me error. Firstly, central tendency. Appraisers may avoid using extreme ratings and tend to give average scores to most employees. This can result in a clustering of ratings around the middle of the scale, making it challenging to differentiate between high and low performance. Next, leniency or strictness error. Leniency bias occurs when appraisers consistently assign higher ratings than deserved, possibly due to a desire to avoid conflict or maintain a positive relationship, while strictness bias is where appraisers consistently assign lower ratings than deserved. The third one is recency error, which occurs when the appraiser's assessment is disproportionately influenced by events or actions that occur close to the time of the evaluation, neglecting earlier performance over the review period. Next, contrast error occurs when an appraiser's judgment of an employee's performance is unintentionally influenced by the performance of other individuals rather than being based solely on the employee's individual merits or against predefined standards. And lastly, the similar to me error occurs when an appraiser favors employees who are perceived as being like themselves in terms of background, interests, values, or other characteristics. In other words, The evaluator may show a preference for individuals who share similarities, which can lead to an inaccurate or unfair assessment of employee. Feedback training is a process designed to educate individuals on how to provide, receive, and utilize feedback effectively. This training is essential in various contexts, including workplaces, educational settings, and personal relationships. The goal is to enhance communication, foster a culture of continuous improvement, and strengthen relationships by teaching participants the skills needed to deliver constructive feedback and handle it in a positive manner. Feedback training should cover at least 3 basics, which is communicating effectively to gain employee support, diagnosing the root cause of performance problem, and setting goals and objectives for the employees to achieve in conjunction with the feedback.
Performance review method. A performance review method is a systematic process used by organizations to evaluate and assess an employee's job performance over a specific period. The primary purpose performance review is to provide feedback, recognize achievement, identify areas for improvement, and set goals for future development. There are 3 types of methods that can be used by the organization, which is trait-based method, behavior-based method, and result-based method. This method is used to provide a more comprehensive and balanced assessment of an employee's performance. Each method has its strengths and weaknesses, and the choice of the method often depends on the nature of the job, organizational culture, and the specific goals of the performance review process. Trait-based method. This method evaluate employees based on inherent characteristics or qualities believed to be important for success in particular role. Trait-based assessment can be used for developmental purpose, helping employees to understand their strengths and areas for improvement in terms of personal qualities. The example of traits such as communication skills, teamwork, leadership, and adaptability might be assessed. The trait evaluated depends on the organization's values, the nature of job, and the competency deemed essential for effective performance. So the pros and cons for the trait-based method is, while the traits are essential, evaluating them can be subjective and may not always directly correlate with the job performance. There are 3 advantages in the trait-based method. First, the trait-based method are inexpensive to develop. Number 2, the trait-based method are easy to use. Number 3, the trait-based method are use meaningful dimension. There are three disadvantages of trait-based method. Number 1, the trait-based method have potential for rating errors. Number 2, the trait-based method are not useful for employees counseling. Number 3, trait-based method are not useful for promotion decisions. Behavior-based method. This method assesses observable behavior and action demonstrated by employees in the workplace. Behavior are typically more concrete and measurable than traits, making it easier to provide specific feedback. Since the focus on observable action, behavior-based assessment tend to be more objective than the trait-based evaluations. The feedback generated from behavior-based assessment is often constructive and actionable. Employees can understand what specific behavior contribute to their success or hinder their performance, allowing for targeted improvement efforts. The example of specific behavior like punctuality, collaboration, problem solving, and initiative are observed and evaluated. So the pro and cons for the behavior-based method. This approach provides a more objective basis for assessment, but may still subjective to interpretation and may not capture the full impact of the behavior on a result. So the advantage for the behavior-based method. Number one, the behavior-based method are useful for providing feedback. Number two, behavior-based method are fair for reward and promotion decisions. Number three, behavior-based method use specific performance dimensions. The disadvantage for behavior-based method. Number one, having some potential rating errors. Number two, can be costly to develop this method. Result-based method. This method emphasizes the outcome and achievement produced by employees in terms of meeting goals, target, or key performance indicators. Results may be expressed in terms of percentage, number, revenue figures, or other measurable units. Result-based assessment ensure that individual performance is aligned with the broader goals and objectives of the organizations. So, the employees are evaluated based on their contributions to the overall success of the company. The example of result-based method by using metrics such as sales revenue, project completion, customer satisfaction, or other measurable results are key indicators. The advantages by using result-based method. Number one, result-based method have less subjectivity bias. Number two, result-based method encourage mutual goal setting. Number three, result-based method are good for reward and promotion decisions. There are three disadvantages by using result-based method. Number one, time consuming to use the method. Number two, result-based method may encourage a short-term perspective. Number three, result-based method may use deficient criteria.
And for now, we proceed with the performance review meetings and feedback sessions. For a formal performance evaluation meeting, it's crucial to set a date with a 10 to 2 weeks notice. This time frame allows both for the employees and the managers to have a sufficient preparation time, fostering a more constructive and well-informed discussion between these two parties. Performance reviews can take three feedback formats, which is tell and sell, tell and listen, and problem solving. Tell and sell managers use motivation and persuasion to change the employee behavior. Tell and listen, the appraiser shares strengths and weaknesses, followed by the exploring the employees' feeling about the reviews. And lastly, problem solving, it is aimed to get employee buy-in agreed solution to actually improve their overall performances. In the performance review meeting or feedback session, there actually are no hard and fast rules on how to conduct a review, but from the guidelines that follow can increase the willingness of the employee to accept their feedback review. The guideline, which is the for us for self-evaluation, invite participation, express appreciation, be supportive, and actually demonstrate that you care about the employee's feeling, minimize their criticism, establish goals, and lastly, follow up day to day. Improving performances. Identifying the sources of ineffective performance involve evaluating the ability, motivation, and environments. Through performance diagnosis, managers compare, measure to pinpoint underlying causes. Once identified, A course of action such as training or employee transfer can be planned importantly. Managers focus on changing behavior, not the persons, by separating the employee from their action.